Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of my bathroom and master bedroom remodel. Now in part 1 you may have seen all that demolition. There was a whole bunch of fun smashing that stuff out. We hyper sped up a lot of that, so I really hope you enjoyed part 1. Now in part 2 we're going to be finishing up that demolition. We're about 50% into it. We've done our dump run. We're loading up another trailer in a wee bit here, getting the bathtub out, and a lot more smashing and crashing. We'll speed that up, show you a bit of fun there. But in this video there are some tips and tricks to a few different things. One of them I'd like to show you is if you've ever gone to do some plumbing work, you've cut a piece of pipe and water starts pouring out, and you try soldering it, you put your flame on it for ages, you can hear the sizzling and boiling water going on in there, and it just won't stop dripping. I've got a great hack for that, and I'd love to show you that while I'm installing my in-wall sink faucet for my sink. So that's one good little tip and trick and hack that I've got coming up for you. And also I'm installing a door pan which goes in prior to installing a door frame and your door. Now a lot of people skip this process, and for me I think it's a valuable thing to do is put this in. For the price of a piece of flashing and a little bit of know-how of how to bend and break this metal into place, I think it's worth the effort of putting it in there, because there's nothing worse than having your floor rotting out after 5 or 6 years down the road and you're going, oh no, the floor's rotting out, I've got to rip out all this door frame and figure out what's going on. So this is a great little tip. I'm going to set a door pan ready for a door jamb. Now that's probably what we're going to get done in part 2, and then in part 3 we're going to be doing the shower pan, which is setting a shower liner in there and setting cement to the levels that you want to get for correct drainage in a shower. We'll also be showing you a bunch of exterior concrete work that we're doing to set up for the outside shower, and some concrete walls and all that good stuff. So stay tuned. If you've got any comments and suggestions, please leave them below, and hit the subscribe button and follow. There's also a little bell next to the subscribe button. When you subscribe, if you hit that, you get notified of all the upcoming videos. And as I said in part 1, we're probably going to have about 5 or 6 parts to this and some breakdowns of how-to videos. So please stay tuned. I hope you're really enjoying this stuff. I certainly enjoy the smashing and crashing and bashing, and I do enjoy the rebuilding. So stay tuned, have fun, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Sing to a gangster. Ain't too much, you can sing to a gangster. Ain't too much, you can sing to a gangster.
Ain't too much, baby.
Ain't too much, you can sing to a gangster.
Shorty.
Ain't too much, you can sing to a gangster.
Bitch ass niggas, man. Is this nigga trying to come at us like that, man?
Crazy
Cause wrong thing is
they know. Son, I've been through it all, man. The fighting and the brawling. Been hated, I've been loved, I've been all the above. I seen the gangsters get gully and them hustlers make money. And babies having babies that turn into thugs, man. Rockwallers, pits, and the guns and the clips and the whores and the pimps, man.
So it turns out that we couldn't save those 2 mirrors. We ended up smashing them out. Hey guys, so as you can see, we got quite a lot of demo done. been about 4 days in the process and we are now moving on to rebuilding stuff. I haven't shot a ton of that just yet. We've framed out the door, framed out the window, and I'll show you that a bit later, but I'm going to give you a little demo of some plumbing that I've got to do. I'll get to the threshold and door pan later in the next clip. It just turns out we were doing this first. So this is the old shower right here. I don't know if you can remember from the first shot, but this was the shower stall right here, and this is the old shower valve. I'm currently building a new wall here to house the vanity sink that's going here, so I need to pull this water over to here. And what I've done is, to make life easy for me, is I've marked out sink height right here, where I want my hot water to come through, where I want my cold water, and where I want the trap. Now that's just a marker to let me know what I've got to do while I'm doing this. Now fortunately I can frame and plumb. So normally a carpenter would come in, they'd frame it, you'd have to drill holes through and feed pipe, it becomes a real pain in the butt. So what I've done is, this is loose. I can get in there to cut that pipe. I can slide 1 board in, 2 boards, 3 boards, whatever I want to do, ready to get my plumbing sorted out. So I'm going to speed this up real quick and then slow down when I come to brazing some of the pipes, and I'll show you a quick brazing tips and stuff like that. So here we go. Ran the cold up on the bottom and the hot on the top. The reason being is when you come through the wall, you want the cold on the right side, so the cold will come down and then up, the hot will come up and up. I've marked out my holes to drill for the pipes, and that's one of the bonuses to not framing the whole wall in prior to plumbing. You can line everything up pretty sweet. So I'll get back to hyperspeed and we'll see where we go. Well, I was just about to show you a common problem that happens with plumbing, but it's just resolved itself. Not too sure how that just happened, but you may have saw from the last clip there's a ton of water coming out of this pipe. Now I asked everybody in the house not to touch the taps because the system's pressurized. So once you cut a pipe, the water just generally settles. Oh, here we go. Look. Can you see it coming out now? Starting to pool up in there. Yeah, my wife put the dishwasher on and all of a sudden water starts pouring out and it doesn't stop because it starts to drain. So this is the fix for that, believe it or not, a slice of bread. So the bread goes down inside the pipe and you just push it down and you push it down and you push it down and you get quite a lot in there so it doesn't push itself back out. And then you can take a pencil and push that a decent ways down into the pipe. You can see that now. What that does is it swells the bread up and stops the water from popping up while you solder it. I don't know how long it's going to last because I've got quite a bit to do. Hopefully that will just sit there for a little while. I might stuff a little bit more bread down, but I'm going to go ahead and start soldering, and I'll get to an easier part to show you a quick solder, but here we go. Pretty straightforward. As you can see, I slid the 2x4 in. I'm not going to nail this off just yet, just in case there was a problem with that joint. That way I can still continue plumbing through here, but I can slide this back out the way to get to any of these joints just in case they leak. It's always a little bit tricky when you've got a lot of water coming out of a pipe. The bread definitely works, but sometimes you have a problem. Sometimes there's a little bit of, I don't know, heating issue. So anyway, we'll see how we get on. Okay, so I wanted to show you a quick hack that I do. Cut pipe. Sometimes it's good to use a pipe wrench, which is one of these things. You clamp it and you turn it. It takes forever and it's a pain in the butt. So this is my hack. I use a grinder with a metal cutting blade on it. It's an 1/8 inch or 16th inch cutting blade. And I just hack it with this. It's super fast. And then I got this little buffing wheel down here. I'll take off the burrs and polish it. Now that's one of my little hacks. Not everybody's got a bench grinder and all that good stuff, but you know, for me, I got all these tools. I'm going to use them to make life quick and easy as possible. This is flux. Got a bit of sawdust in there, but I don't really care. I go in there with the pipe usually, makes life a lot easier for me. There's these little brushes that you can use. They can be a pain in the butt. And you use them to go down inside these if you have to. I just chuck the pipe in. I like to get a lot of flux on there as best as I can, because the flux really helps it. Now this is just a brazing of a pipe. What I do is I start at the bottom of the pipe and work my way up. You'll see the metal start to change color. You'll see the flux start to darken right here. You'll see the pipe start changing color. What I do is I dab a little bit on there. Once it starts to suck in, I know the pipe's hot enough. Then I'll move up to the top joint. Now the heat's rising, so it makes it a little quicker and easier to get these upper spots. And that, my friend, is brazing made easy. Now I put these caps on as a temporary situation. I haven't got the valve for the sink just yet, so I've just capped these off. When I get the valve, I can do the installation, but I wanted to get ahead of the game with the plumbing right now, so at least when that valve comes, I can pop it in real quick and there's no problems there. So in my excitement to show you some plumbing, forgot to solder a joint. So tip for the day, check all your joints before you turn the water on. Luckily my friend Stasio was in here on his telephone shouting, no, no! Everything got a little bit wet. But anyway, there you go. So now I'm going to carry on framing here. I've had plenty of room to be able to work on anything. I've just framed as I've been going. I can now nail this stud off because it's solid, ready to go. No leaks, ready for the valve. The valve came in for the sink that I was just plumbing a few minutes back. And this is the valve right here. And as you can see, this is how I stubbed it up. If you remember what I said I put the cold one on here because the cold needs to be on the right side of the valve, and the hot I put high up because that's on the left side of the valve. So all I need to do now is cut this off, cut here, slide over, put a piece in, reconnect. Same here, cut this off on this level here, cut here, put a piece in, reconnect. And that's how I do the valve. So I'll show you that in a sec. So here we go, last weld of the valve. And there we have the finished product. I've got a bunch of stuff to do under the house, and I'll turn the water on, get the bread out of the system, and check everything works and doesn't leak and all that good stuff. So we'll catch up with you guys in a bit. Hey guys, so as promised, I'm gonna set my door pan. The door threshold came in the mail, so I can proceed with hanging the door and the door jamb and all that good stuff. But before any of that happens, I've got to put this door pan in to waterproof the area that I'm trying to set my door in. So here's the area. It's going to be going from here across. Now I do have a sample. So this is the sample that I do, and I do this for a couple reasons. One is a reminder of how everything goes, and two, just to see how the corners fit. I'll show you now. So I pre-build that to know where everything works and fits, and make sure I've lined everything up correctly, so then I can work on my main piece. So you're going to need a few tools. Here they are right now. You're going to need a square, pair of snips, these guys, which you can buy at Home Depot for about 20 bucks. Tape measure, and a pencil. So I'm going to show you how to do the layout real quick. Might be a little tricky with camera and just me doing it, so we'll see how we get on with that. Hopefully it comes out pretty decent. Here we go. So I got my main piece here. It's a 6x5 piece of flashing, and it sets in the door frame like this. Now I'm going to mark these out. I'm going to mark these lines here on both sides. And that's pretty much all I need to do with those little areas there. It's just 2 pencil marks. Because I built a template, now I can go off to my table saw area where it's a little flat and more stable and use my template as a reminder guide to how to snip everything, bend everything and fold everything. So I'll meet you over at the table saw and we'll get this done. So now, based on my template here, this is my template. I've got my back cut here already done. I've got the bend up and then I've got this bend in here. So I know I can set this here right now and I can draw a little line, and that is my back cut. And then I have a tab that's been bent around here, which would mean that that has to be cut all the way up. And that's a 1/2 inch bend. So what I'll do is I'll come here, just scribe the 1/2 inch and that's pretty much that. Very straightforward. Now these things here, they're 1.25 inches. Right now I've got about maybe 2 inches here. So I need to trim this back so these will fit so I can fold. I'm going to go 1 1/8 inches back to give myself just a little bit of room on the bend. Now I have to cut this off so these will fit and be able to bend the metal up. Now, since I know I'm cutting this way anyway, I'll just continue that cut through. It's pretty straightforward. And then this section I can cut to the point right there. And I cut just a little bit past it to give it some room to be able to bend back on itself. Now what I do is I'll place these in here on my pencil line. I give it a slight bend, move it along, give it a slight bend, move it back along. And finish the bend to a 90. Now there's a couple little tricks you can do. You can set this in here and just tap down, and that helps sharpen up that back bend right there. Now I need to fold this tab up and past this one. It's a simple bend, this one. And I got to get it behind that one. You see that's behind. Then when this bends up, that goes into the gap. So this side's done. I'll work on the other side and get back to you guys. So I've marked out the other side. I'm describing my 1/2 inch line right here. This side's marked out, ready for a cut. All I got to do is bend this up now, which is obviously a little bit tricky, but we'll do our best. There we have it on that one. I'm going to take it over the door and show you guys what I've done. Okay, so I got the piece in, check it out. there's a little lip right here. And what's the reason why I put the back lip on there is for pretty obvious reasons, you would think, is if water gets somehow behind the door jamb, it's not going to go back into the house. We've created this little pan slash dam to divert the water back outside of the house. Now I've got enough offcut of threshold here, and that threshold sits over like this up on the floor, so that goes on an angle, so water hits this, runs down, then runs off. If it does go back, it's hitting a dam and has nowhere to go. Now these are cut corners right here, so essentially water could go back in there, but what we do is when we set this pan, I'm going to put some galvanized nails down through there, and I will caulk everything with some pretty high grade silicone just to take care of those small little cuts that I have there and the heads of the nails, and that way, you know, it's almost impossible for water to get behind it. So I'm not going to set that now because I have a layer of flooring that I have to put down, but when I get to set this, I'll show you, and I'll show you also how to build a door and a door jamb set using this threshold, which is a very low profile threshold that I really like. It's more architectural and special order type thing, so I can give you a link as well in the description down below where you can get that, but I love it. So I'll show you how to build one of them. Catch up with you in a bit. So hey guys, as promised, I'm going to put this door pan in, ready to hang the door. We've had a few other things that we've been doing first, but we just happen to be at the stage where I can put this in now. So I'm going to show you how you do that right here. Put a couple paper shims to go put it on a little bit of a pitch. I also wrap this area in plastic as a double whammy. Now I'm using a roofing nailer. It seems to work the best. I'm only going to put a few nails in it. And that's pretty much all I'm going to do. So what I end up doing once I'm ready is I'll get my Sikaflex or sealant, and I'll just cover those nails and my corners with some sealant, and then that's going to be a nice waterproof bath system for the threshold. Pretty cool, huh? Hey guys, well that's the end of part 2. We got a massive amount of demolition done in, I think it's been about 16 days, and we've done quite a bit of rebuilding. I hope you enjoyed the plumbing tips that I had to show you. There's nothing worse than having a pipe that's leaking water and you're trying to braze it, so I hope those little tips helped you out on that one. And also we've got the door pan in, which is a great accomplishment considering the amount of stuff that we've been tackling along the way. Now shooting video like this can be quite complicated because we're doing so many projects at the same time, anywhere from shower pans to framing, electrical demo, building walls outside. So if it's a little bit chopped up, I do apologize for that. I'm trying to be as succinct as I possibly can. However, it's just me filming these movies and it's not that easy to do, so I do appreciate your patience. Listen, if you really enjoyed this video, share it with some friends, hit the subscribe button on this side of the screen down here, and if you feel like it, leave a comment or a suggestion. I really appreciate that, and I'll get back to you on any of the comments that you leave. And also I'll be dropping some links into the comment section, not in the description section. I'll be putting it in the comment section, so if you have any interest in purchasing some of the stuff that I'm suggesting to use, just click on those links. I don't get paid for this. This is just purely me sharing information for you guys. So listen, I really hope you enjoyed part 2, and join us for part 3, where we are going to be putting in a liner for the shower. We're also going to be doing some outside concrete work, some block work, foundation work, and all that good stuff. So please jump onto part 3 of this bedroom remodel, and we'll catch up you in that next series. Okay, well listen guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time.